I wanted to go back to the industry-business connections. And maybe this is really a question for a future conference where we do have some business or industry leaders in the room, and maybe there are some here that I've missed. But I guess I've struggled with where the matches are. What can we do for business and industry, and what do they want from us? Is it training programs for their professionals to be able to advance within their companies? Is it the kind of endowment professorships, these kinds of things? I know I was in Bangalore in December and happened upon, I was doing other things, the Dean of the College of Nursing and the Dean of the College of Medicine from Minnesota, who had partnered with 3M with a hospital and an academic center in Bangalore. And I thought that was an interesting model, and I wanted to learn more about it. That seems to be successful. It's been going on for many years. And so I think maybe this is a question for a future conference. Where are the sweet spots in industry university connections in the global arena?
Any panelists want to comment?
Darling, I think you're bringing up a good point. I don't think we have enough interaction with industry where both sides can understand each other. They see us as stodgy, and we see them as way ahead doing things. But if they're cutting back on R&D within their own, especially the big ones, right? There's an opportunity here for academia to look for ways in which we can retain what we do best, but also provide them with what they want from us. So my sense is everything that you said makes, right? From endowments to they want graduates who are job ready. How do we prepare them in addition to the curricula and the co-curricular undertakings? I think that dialogue, approaching them more from the context of what they want to be seeing from us, might be a way to bring them in so that we can have these larger conversations about bigger pots of money.
I was going to say something about students abroad, but I'm going to turn it to a question because I think you might be addressing this.
Actually, what I wanted to do was respond
Yes,
to
that's what I thought.
question. It is working. Okay. I'm Deb Pierce with Northern Illinois University, where I'm Associate Provost. We were also working on a concept paper like PRIMA for the USAID APS, and we did manage to submit it. Our corporate partner was involved in teaching English around the world and was very interested to go into Burma. And in fact, the needs in Burma that we were able to ascertain were very much focused on English strengthening English proficiency there. So that was a great fit. In the course of preparing our concept paper, we visited a corporation which shall remain nameless, but it's in the extractive industries, as they very euphemistically say. And we were really excited. Wow, we're in this really cool corporate office. Woohoo, this is going to be neat. We're going to have another corporate partner for this concept paper. We made our little pitch very briefly. We did a good elevator speech. And the corporate officer looked at us and said, we train our employees. We have no employees in Burma. Have a nice day. So our interests and the interests of the corporation did not align, as we say.
And that's kind of what the mapping, I think we need to be looking at these companies in our regional area within the state and map them out, right? Where are they, where's their footprint abroad? Because like the Burma one, it was looking at the ones that you would see, and definitely English was one of the ones that came out too as a need within the country. And so it's going to be different in different places around the globe.
Yes, my name is Jim Scott. I'm at the University of Missouri in Columbia. And this is not a question, it's a comment. I'd like to commend our colleague from the University of Washington for mentioning the importance of treating international students as equals and to not look at them from a deficiency point of view. It seems to me that if we're going to be good at international collaborations, we need to start there, and I really appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm going to, one question while we get a microphone to you, have kind of a question. So when I was in the government, we did these MOUs, and we would do an MOU with different countries. And all the agencies would get together, and we'd talk about, okay, we're going to do stuff in nanotechnology and stuff in climate change and in biotechnology. and then we'd go away, and 2 years later, we'd come back with the MOU, and basically, we'd be doing the same things. When you're working with other universities and having this globalization, how do you ensure, and it gets back to the first question of the session, how do you ensure viability? How do you ensure that it actually is not just sort of a ceremony, but it really actually helps with the strategic goals and values of your university, and it's maintained as long as it should be, like what is happening with the Karolinska? Are there best practices? Bob?
I mean, from my perspective, it really is a resource issue. Resources are transient unless they're made more permanent. And so that was been fairly magic for us. And, you know, I can imagine that that one doesn't need endowments, but, you know, some sort of a lifetime or a horizon that extends over, you know, the pocket change that might be mobilized that might last for a year or two. So I think to be able to see a horizon of a decade or something it's probably not worth it unless you can see that kind of horizon, to see at least a couple of cycles of activity between the institutions. So I firmly believe resources of the sort that are fairly unusual in the form of endowments is pretty crucial for us.
I'm going to mix two metaphors. One is the low-hanging fruit metaphor, and the other is the venture capital metaphor. I would love to have big endowments. University of Minnesota can go out and get those. Other universities can't always do that. So I think we're still at the stage right now of plucking that low-hanging fruit and hoping that these programs develop. My own feeling, this goes to your question right here, Kathy, is there are many opportunities that are out there that may not develop. But if I think of myself as a venture capitalist, if the university thinks of itself as a venture capitalist, and we're developing 10 or 100 different projects and just a few are successful, it's still worth our while.
Thank you.